So Sachin, you are live.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sachin Tonk. I am the Global Director for Standard Chartered Bank, Singapore, leading the data privacy and operations and advanced analytics team globally for the bank. My remit is spreading across 150 countries, wherever the jurisdictions and the bank is operating. One of the key challenges I'm trying to work on is how to make the organization more data driven. How do we make sure that the data is secure, we have governance, and at the same time we also enable our users or empower our users to use data effectively and efficiently. And today I'm here with you to share some of my thought process and some of my practical experience based on my projects and the exposure on the next generation data intelligence and governance on cloud. So as we all know, data is the new oil, and in fact data is the new oil is also a kind of old statement. Now people say that data is much more than the new oil. It is data is a gold or platinum and what else. And people do say the people or the organizations who have good data, they they are sitting on a gold mine. But having said that, data comes with a lot of complexity, challenges, and issues as well. And in last 2 years, if we see the journey of data capturing in last 2 years, in the entire human mankind, 90% of the data has been captured in last 2 years itself. So we can understand the data velocity part of it. um, how the data has been captured, and the focus of on capturing the data. Now data velocity of capturing the data, and nowadays data capturing is also very easy. You have smartphones, you have smart devices, you have big data technologies where your cost of storing the data is much more more less. I remember my time when I was doing my graduation. We used to have 5 or 10 or 20 GBs hard drive, and we used to consider ourselves lucky. But at the same time, when you ever open up an account in Gmail or something like that, you get few GBs free worth. And nowadays terabyte is a minimum standard when you go and buy a laptop or the point is the storage is very cheap. So usage of storage of the cost has gone down. So the capability of storing the more data is there. So coming back to the topic of next generation data intelligence and governance, I have structured today's presentation into 7 to 8 different sub points. First of all, I would like to make everybody understand how the data laws has evolution of data laws and different countries, jurisdictions. And data laws are very dynamic. They are not static. They are keep on improving. They are keep on changing. And then why do we need data governance on it? After all, it is our data. It is our responsibility, and it should be my own will of using the data. But why do we need data governance? And I would like to bring a topic of data protection, because governance and protection are two different concepts, but sometimes people do get confused in these two concepts. So it is very important that we talk about data protection. Then I will give you a practical scenario that who are the key actors, or the who are the key people, or the key users in the organizations who should be working hand in hand to get the governance at the right stage. I will also talk about data catalog, why data catalog is so important in terms of your data intelligence and governance. Then I'll also talk about POC and prototyping, which I call it as quick wins. um, to build up something big, you need to start with quick wins and small scale, and then you do a scaling across. And then how do you measure success and failure? That is one of the key importance. So this is the way I have structured the presentation. And please feel free to pause me or any questions. I don't want to make it as as a kind of push kind of thing. It should be a push and pull. That means a good interaction, ask me questions, challenge me, because the more the questions it will come, better interaction. I'll also get an opportunity to learn from the forum as well. So let's start with the next slide. Evolution of data laws. So it is not like evolution has happened 2 years or three years back. If you look, evolution of data laws has covered the entire world, starting from EU, Russia, all the way to Chile, Peru, and Colombia. And every or country has its own local regulations, and then we have a global regulations. For example, in our scenario right now, the industries are very much focused on GDPR, the EU regulations, general data protection regulation. And then we do have CCPA, we do have US based, then we have in Singapore MAS, in India we have RBI, Reserve Bank of India authority, and there are other authorities who are actually making sure that the data protection is there. And the journey of evolution of data laws is also very interesting. It all started with protecting data, but at the same time now it has become more client centric or individual centric. When I say data privacy, how my data, or if I am allowing the organizations to store my data, how my data will be shared with the third party or with other people. The regulations are making sure that the guidelines and the principles are laid down. You might have seen the recent example of WhatsApp sharing the data of uh, 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 especially business data with the parent company Facebook. And there are a lot of debate and discussion happened, and WhatsApp has to stop the privacy related rollout. And I remember, as soon as the data privacy, WhatsApp company said that we will start sharing the data, Elon Musk tweeted just one word: use Signal. And Signal is one of the alternative of WhatsApp, but the fundamentals is that it doesn't store, and it will never share your data, because it's the principle of the way the Signal was created was never to share the data. So this is something to understand. The data laws are very dynamic, and it is continuously evolving. Now, what is data governance, right? And why do we need data governance, and what are the key elements which, or key requirements or key asks from your data governance? There are two key aspects, right? There is one I call as internal demand, and the other one I called as an external expectation. Tying up or marrying up these two, we need the data governance. So basically, internal demand is all about the internal demand of the organization. Whatever the size of the organization, whether it is big and small, you will have demand where you need to do analyze your data. You need the agility for growth, you need real time operations. And for the external expectations, your customer are looking for better products. Regulators are expecting that you are aligning with GDPR and MiFID. And the customers are also expecting that if there is an M&A activity going on, merger and acquisitions, then the company is giving benefits to the customer and to the shareholders. So all these factors are very important for data governance. And if you look into the boxes what I've created, the data governance is sitting in the center. You need data to support analytics, to monetize the data, to support regulatory compliance, to consolidate, to do real time monitoring, to do AI. And now all these pillars or all these components require sharing of data, managing the data. And data governance is allowing you to share this data across these pillars. So from a data governance perspective, it is you can say it is the heart of the body, where it is pumping the blood into the right veins, and the body is functioning correctly. If you don't have the governance, and you don't have this whole picture it, or tie up this whole thing together, then it is very difficult to manage all these internal and external expectations. So that's why data governance is kept at the pivotal, and it is very important for any organizations. So what is data protection? Data protection is a very or a subset of data governance. If I say data governance is a big umbrella, one of the part of that portion is data protection. So basically data protection comes under data governance. If you have a robust framework of data governance, if you have a robust process and policies of data governance, if you have a clear methodology of data governance, then you can, or you can show, you can demonstrate to your people, or to the regulators or to your stakeholders, that there is a high probability that your data is protected. And how do you protect the data? Is like, you classify your data, and you use security and technology to protect your data, but at the same time you have governance on one side, you have policy, procedure, awareness, and combining all these components will make you protect your data. One of the key aspect of governance is data protection as well. If I say that, okay, what are the top three areas of data governance, or what are the key three benefits of data governance, is number one is data protection, data monetization, where sharing of your data. Then the third is, one of the key aspect of data governance is, how do data agility, how do you make sure your data is agile, you are able to make quick decisions, and you are able to do that. So governance I talked about in the previous slide. Policies is all about, what are your policy. If, for example, if you are sharing your data with third party, what is your policy? If you are sharing your data with your internal users, what is your policy? Awareness and training is all about how do you make sure that the data is protected, and if there is a data leakage, or if there is any issue on the data protection, how do you make sure that you report it? Because as per, as far as GDPR is concerned, there is a tight guidelines that whenever there is a data breach or data leakage happening in the organization, 72 hours is the window where it has to be communicated back to the regulator. Process is all about what methodology we use in order to protect our data. And of course all this thing is tied up with IT security and technology, because we are not talking about data sitting in the Excel of few hundred records, we are talking about millions and trillions of data. So this is all about data protection. Now let's look upon governance and key actors, right? This is a kind of very important slide, and it is a practical slide, because this takes this takes the concept into the reality, right? So if you look at the data governance journey, right, for me, whenever I design a data governance policy or the framework for the organization, or for any of the program and my team, what we do is, the main aim is striving for more, which is nothing but continuous improvement. And the data governance journey is not like one side, it is both the ways. You deliver, then you measure it. It's a continuous iteration. That's why I called is striving always for more. So basically there are key actors of data governance journey, or I call four key pillars. I call that as one key pillar is business, where we are supporting, and every use case has to support a business. Then you have data owners, right, who are owning the data. Then you have data stewards, which are your tech functional people. Then you have track and monitor, which are your PMOs, project management office, who does it. Now let's look into the individual, like deep dive into each pillar. So when I say committee or business, right, we need to make sure that we really identify the right business users and the right business uh, designated owners, which is very important. Business is all about SMEs, and um, uh, supporting the idea. The business will fund the whole concept as well. So when I say committee or businesses, like business area owners, like for example, if I am supporting a retail banking operations, I need to engage a head of retail banking, or a CEO of retail banking. Then you should also define define what are the business need, what are the priorities for the business. For example, your business say priority can be, one of the thing is that to improve the profitability by 20%, right? Now that can be your business need, or that can be your business goal. But to improve the profitability, we might need to use data into more efficient way. We might need to use analytics into it. We might need to understand data gaps. We need to understand customer trends. We need to understand how the customers are feeling or how they are behaving. So uh, that is the business need. What is the priorities we are trying to achieve? What are the key issues business is facing? For example, if your business is facing a lot of customer complaints, customers are not very happy, that is your key issues. Then you have to deep dive why the customers are complaining, what are the data points, what are the hypotheses, how can we make sure that the data driven analysis can be done on key issues so that we can identify the trends, common issues. Then we will also identify the resource requirement to support what we call as the business needs. And we also need to work on timelines, that what exactly the timelines is all about, right? Because you don't have the liberty to just take it slow and deliver. Time is essence, and time to market is the key. Then the second part which I always focus on is the data owners. Data owners are the people who are supporting the data. They understand the complexity of the data. They own the data domain. They understand the critical data elements in their data. They understand the data definitions. They understand the business rules. They will have the terms of reference. They do understand the data quality requirements. And again, data owners are your go-to person when you want to design your data governance journey, because data owners will give you the understand that what are the critical information, sensitive information, must have information, good to have information, uh, should be present in order to make that to make the things working. So that's why I call them as data owners and SMEs, the subject matter experts in that. Data stewards are, I use the term called techno functional, because they are people who are not the data owners, but at the same time they do understand data to a large extent. The difference between data owners and data stewards are that data owners are owning the data. They are a kind of signatory to that data. Data stewards are the consumers of that data. They understand the data. They know what field store what information, and how technically that information is tied up. They also wear a hat of a business analyst, where they identify gaps. They come out with the recommendations, how can we improve our data, how can we secure our data. If there are any changes to be made, they will raise a change request, defining the metrics, what data cleansing is required, what remediation is required. So that's why I call or use the word in my is a techno functional guy. They will understand functionality of the data, the business need of a data, but at the same time they will be technical enough to drive that. Track and monitor is again a PMO function, which is called project management, which allows you to track the progress, audit your tracking of your data. It is just like if you have taken a project of cleaning of data, managing the data. You need to create reports and submit to your program steering committees, your PwCs, and all those things, right? So this is it. So when you tie these four pillars together, and when there is a proper handshake between these pillars, and there is a proper collaboration in these pillars, and there is a continuous feedback from um, um, go and fro, right? So then you always have a great or a robust kind of what I call as a proper governance structure in place, or a framework in place. Now let's look at the data catalog. What is data catalog? Data catalog is all about understanding the data in depth. It is not about understanding the data element, it is understanding the bigger picture of data. When I say bigger picture of data, it's all about answering questions. who is the data owner, where the data is getting originated, how the data is getting originated, what kind of mechanism is there to originate this data, what kind of cleaning mechanisms is being used to generate the data, how this data is measured, what are the metrics, how the data flow is happening between jurisdictions or between systems. These are the key aspect of data catalog and answering the questions. And I think if you don't answer these questions, your data governance uh, on cloud or any, even in prem data governance will not be there. From a cloud perspective, data catalog becomes much more important and much more, because at the same time data catalog also gives a very good input when you create a security matrix. For example, in the cloud, whenever you will provision the access of the people to access the data, you will have to provision it in such a way so that everybody doesn't sees everything. The person who are authorized only sees that data, for that they are authorized. There can be multiple use cases for that. For example, if I'm a person who is responsible for ASA region, I should be only seeing the data from ASA, not from Americas or Europe. So that is one of the scenarios. So data catalog is one of the key aspects to have a look at it. So you have data controller, you have data consumers, you you have what you call as data processor, data providers. They do ask questions, and we do the data lineage, we do the impact analysis. Um, well, we ask the questions: what are the standard elements exist in the company? Can I trust the sources of data? What systems are dependent on my data? All these questions are very important. Once you have the robust data catalog, that becomes again a very important data point for your data governance thing. Quick wins and POC and prototyping. So basically, whenever you are driving a security governance think into the program, or you have to start with quick wins, try to demonstrate that the governance will work. I am a big fan of prototyping and POCs. Do the things quickly in a very startup mindset. Do things, learn quickly, fail. If you get failure is the biggest experience, because failure gives you the best learning. So quickly fail, adapt, learn, move on. So basically, whenever you do a prototyping, you have to look for these key elements which has been shown in this thing. That first of all, you define the prototype objective. What do you want to achieve from the objective? Do you want to show the concept, or do you want to get the funding? How do you want to, what are the key objective of prototype? Then you define the functionality which you can. In prototype, you can't develop everything. For example, if I want to create a car which can run from 0 to 100 in just 2 seconds. So that means I will not worry about the look and feel of the car. I might worry about the engine and the power, just to show the concept, the key functionality. And the key functionality, what I'm is the power which will generate the, or which will push the car from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. Then always talk about executable prototype, which is manageable. You execute and then you evaluate the prototype, whether it was success or failure. If it was a failure, how big it is a failure, and how can we quickly adapt. So POCs and prototyping is again a very important aspect of demonstrating the quick wins. Scaling across, this is one of my kind of key takeaways, and I always tell to my team, or to my people whom I work with, or get an opportunity to share, is always think about a Boeing plane in your mind, but always think that you're gonna start with a paper plane before you actually create a Boeing plane. So it's all about how do you transition from a paper plane to a Boeing plane or a Airbus. So basically, it is all about scaling across. And the three key things is how approach and methodology, how you're going to scale across. For example, I right now driving a very big project or initiative for the entire bank of 150 countries. What I've done is I have scaled across to first three countries. After three countries, I have rolled it out to few more countries, and after 2 months, I will be rolling out in a big way to 15 countries, which are in the pipeline in one go. Once I am successful, then I'm going to roll out to further, till the time I reach to the magic number of 150 countries. But yeah, so I started with three countries, which is like in this whole scheme, grand scheme of thing, it is just like a paper plane, and then moving to a Airbus or Boeing. So how and approach and methodology are the key pillars, right? So one of my key take is, whenever you do even you are in the mode of scaling across, you're rolling out, even you are in POCs or prototyping, you are always my always kind of suggestion and the key takeaways is always measure success. It's always kind of do a benchmark. Where did you start? Where do you want to go? And in this journey, your customer are your key, or your stakeholders are your key. And when it comes to customer and stakeholders, these are the people which will allow you to tell you that, okay, are you doing a good job or a bad job measuring success. And you should be creating metrics to measure success. It is not like yes or no, it is like a matrix, which areas we have done good, which we have not done good, what are the key challenges, how do we define metrics, how do we define a success criteria. So all those things is all about measuring success. Continuous improvement, striving for more, that is the mantra for any program or any project. Be hungry for more, and there is always a chance of improvement. So continuous improvement is there. So don't be scared if you people have angry face against you, but make sure that you have the right desire and the aptitude to make the angry face as a smiling face. So I think that was my summary, and that was a kind of time allocated to me. I'm happy to take any questions, any discussions, and I think I have 2 or 3 minutes more, but I can stick around for some more time. Please feel free if you have any questions. I'll take a pause here. Anyone? Any questions? Mohsin, are you there? There is always a chance of improvement. So continuous improvement is there. So don't be scared if you people have angry face against you, but make sure uh, that you have the right desire and the aptitude to make the angry face as a smiling face. So I think that was my summary, and that was a kind of time allocated to me. I'm happy to take any questions, any discussions, and I think I have 2 or 3 minutes more, but I can stick around for some more time. Please feel free if you have any questions. I'll take a pause here.
Sachin, thank you so much for such an insightful presentation that you have given to our audience. And I hope and I'm sure that
If you people have angry face against you, but make sure
this will this will
that you have
add
the right
definitely a
desire and the
great
aptitude.
value. This will add a great value in our audience mindset, and they will definitely help in their professional career. I will ask audience to ask any relevant question about his presentation on the main chat. Sachin is here, and he will be answering those questions. So thank you so much, Sachin. And now we will be coming with our new speaker, who is Vijay from Siemens. So we will be right back after some time. Thank you.